Welcome to the 21st Century Project webinar series. These webinars are designed for participants of our long-term training course in coaching and members of our partner organizations across Europe. We explore the benefits and unique characteristics of innovative organizational management tools and approaches. This project is proudly supported by the European Commission within the Erasmus Plus program.
So, how to sociocracy in my NGO? So that's an approach to shared leadership, consent-based decisions, and effective collaboration. We're going to explore better. The objectives of the two webinars are to understand the roots, principles, and practices of sociocracy and experience how rounds and consent decision-making can be used in practice compared to democracy and holacracy, which was the topic of the previous webinar. To apply sociocracy to NGO and youth organization context, exploring how circle structures, objections, feedback, and improvement from a social coaching professional perspective. So I've been trying also to shape a bit the methodological approach to what might be interesting in your realities. For this workshop, the agenda is to understand what's sociocracy, the principles and the practice, to compare it with democracy and holacracy, and to experience consents and rounds. So I would like to hear from you now. So if you look back in your past experiences, what was the worst or hardest decision-making process you ever experienced? And what happened? Where did you get stuck and why? So if you can think about it for a moment, then maybe we can have a quick round of sharing. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I would like to see you. So the worst and hardest decision-making process you ever experienced. I'm sure that everyone has something to recall. Marcus, break the ice, please.
Yes, now I remember now something. It wasn't really my decision-making process. I was just part of the team that had to do it. It was in a key action 2 that was actually coordinated by Dita, who's also now with us. And it was when COVID came. And the team had to decide how to go on with this long-term project and all the activities foreseen. And nobody knew what will happen. Because nobody knew how bad the pandemic will be, what it really means, if soon we can meet again, if we can never ever meet again, if we need to move things online or not. So I remember that was the hard thing, was how to take a decision when there's so many unknowns, when you simply cannot understand how the future will be, because nobody ever experienced a pandemic of this type, and we just didn't know what this means. Okay. So it was not hard in terms of the humans involved, but hard in terms of the many unknowns, and still you need to take a decision.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Vasilis, thank you.
Hello. I would also I have a case I can share. It was a difficult decision when we had to take in the company I work. And the difficulty was that it was a decision that has to be taken from a lot of people. And a lot of energies and different priorities and different like free time. We didn't have time to understand and listen each other for practical reasons. So that was a stuck situation. Find time and common space and common time to take the decision.
And if I may ask, the decision was taken by majority, by consensus, by the management?
Something mixed, like majority also, but mostly majority.
Okay. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can go. Sorry. It was a stuck moment, at a very hard moment to decide what I will do. Was 1.5 years ago, more or less, when I had to take the decision in which of these two fields that I'm working I will focus. In the formal education as a teacher, and then I will keep youth work as still my job, but trying also to combine and maybe do less things on youth working, but focused. Or if I will focus on youth working and I will pause the formal education lessons in order to see how, in which field I will end up in the future and be more, let's say, more specified or specialized. I will continue my job as a main official teacher, plus youth worker when there is this ability, or as a youth worker, trainer, facilitator, and from time to time maybe I will teach. And in order to decide this, of course, I should also receive, let's say, if not feedback, but think more things around me, people who are influenced from me, people who are working with me, what the new jobs will bring to me, and the possibilities.
Okay, thanks a lot. This is a very coaching professional topic. So
Very?
a coaching approach, you know, it's really related to coaching practice. So,
Okay.
but very interesting. Thank you. Anybody else would like to add something?
I can go.
Yeah.
It's again maybe before someone mentioned about the exchange projects, and it is related to the exchange projects that we coordinated some years ago. And when we basically were about to start with the project and the activities, we had a disagreement with one of the partners. There were 5 partners. And the biggest disagreement was on how the budget was split among the partners. And well, even though there were, 4 partners agreeing on the way the budget was divided between the partners, one didn't agree. And in the beginning, the partner said, okay, it's okay for me to be out of the partnership, just if you find another organization. We found another organization, and then they changed their minds. They didn't want to go out of the partnership. So there was the Italian delay involved for, I would say, many weeks, maybe months. This thing was going on. And at some point, in a way or in another, we managed to find kind of agreement on it. Because DNA never took a real position, so it was up to us to manage it.
Okay, and the decision was taken by the majority of the partnership.
Yeah, in the end, I would say that we took a step back, and the same did the other party. So even though the majority was agreeing on a certain decision, but we couldn't go on if the whole partnership wasn't agreeing on what had to be the partnership agreement. So in the end, we just took a step back from both sides, and this is the way we solved it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else has some memories to share?
And by the way, this partner was definitely by Lorenzo Nava.
Ah, okay. Yes, please.
It was 10 months ago when I had to decide if I'm going to do my evaluation at school or if I'm going to continue the strike, and with which ways I could help my what's another piece? My colleagues that they were going to decide to continue their strikes.
Okay. Any other inputs? I also have a memory that I can share. I remember years and years ago in the youth organization in Rome at that time. So we had the president and the vice president. A group was supporting the president to use some working styles and agree on some kind of partnership. Another group was supporting the vice president to work on a different stream of things. And it was a huge fight and division, because at that point was more on the people than on the contents and the real priorities. And it has been very hard because it broke the group. We probably were not mature and skilled enough to step back and say, okay, let's go back and see how we can work it out. But there were a lot of also personal issues in between that I'm not going to tell the whole story, would take ages. But in the end was a situation that really broke the group and some people left. And these are the kind of things, that in groups, dynamics can always happen, and that sometimes can really affect personal relationships, but also organizational development somehow. And for this reason, I found this methodological approach quite interesting also for the coaching profession. So thanks a lot for your sharing. So we have collected some inputs that relates to external challenges and how as a group you can take decisions, take into considerations that you are not sure about how the situation can develop, and it's not up on your own means to decide how to develop the situation. And uncertainty, unfortunately, is something that is becoming more and more common in our everyday lives and also in our organizational and professional experiences. So that's something that we have to take into consideration. Decision within organizations that according to the methods you use, it can be more or less time consuming, it can be more or less engaging and involving all the opinions and the concerns of the people part of the organizations. Then there are personal situations, and the one that have been shared, that's recall to your own personal moment in life when you feel stuck, or when you have to take decisions about your own future, and how can you take those decisions, trying to being aware about what are the resources that you can have internally, who are the people you can relate to, and also try to forecast somehow how the professional market also can evolve over time in order to not have any kind of, bad feeling looking back in your life. Then there's the, the very common issue of partnership agreements that made me laugh also because of the national agency, but still, which is something that can be very common also because of course, we are part of the European Union, but culturally speaking, working speaking, we might have very different approaches. This is something that it's individual, so it can happen also between people from the same city, but also from different cultures. It can be even more visible, and we have to be even more flexible and find ways in order to try to unlock all the different moments where you can get stuck throughout the decision-making processes. In this regard, I go back to the presentation, and let's explore a bit what's sociocracy and if and how you can it can help you in the future. So, what's sociocracy? First of all, sociocracy says that it's an inclusive process because every voice counts. It's transparent because it defines clear roles and decision-making processes. It's effective because it saves time, whereas someone was talking about time-consuming of decision-making processes. And it's empowering because it supports and empower the whole group, that it can be related to the organizations of a youth club or an informal group of young people. What are the differences in decision-making methods? That was the reason why I was asking you before about more information. So we have the autocracy, something that is becoming more and more common in our political systems. That is fast, but there's not the opportunity to get involved most of the time. And here in this drawing, it's interesting because it said the shouting, it relates to frustration, bad reasoning, and most dominant wins. So the boss decide for everyone. Consensus. That means that everyone has to agree on something, which takes a lot of time. And during the time, you can lose the enthusiasm in brings new ideas, also because every time that you bring a new idea, then you have to get consensus over again. Then there's the democracy, the majority vote, which ignores minorities. That is a kind of hidden power structure. So if you have the majority, you can just do what you feel the best from your own perspective without taking in consideration the whole picture. And it might miss good ideas. Consent, which is different from consensus, relates to something slightly different. And the motto is good enough for now, safe enough to try. So the feature of this decision-making process is that it saves time. You can get more buy-in, so you can get more inputs from the people that are participating into the decision-making processes. It promotes non-toxic behaviors because it's really on the contents and not on the people. It's take into considerations everyone needs, and the objections, and now we're going to see there's a procedures to make objections, is the opportunity to get more options, and so to get more ideas to include to the final step of the decision-making process. Any questions so far? No, I would say.
Mila. I'm sorry, but for me, it's not so clear the difference between consensus and consent.
Okay, so when you vote or when you ask for consensus, it means that I propose you to run this meeting until 9 p.m. and we have to reach consensus. So we have to find a way that's for everyone to agree on this.
Okay.
As long as someone doesn't agree, we still have to discuss about it and find a solution. Consent, now we are going to see in the slide, if I manage to go down. What is consent? Consent, it's something that says you have your preference, so that you know what you want, but you know what you can still work with, even if the proposal is not 100% what you would like to be or what you would like to have. So it implies a range of tolerance. And then if you agree that the proposal is exactly what you want, it's perfect. If it's not exactly what you want, but it's safe enough, good enough to try and safe enough to test it, you can still give your consent. If you don't agree at all, you can object.
Okay,
And when you make an objections, you means that you explain what is the aspects that you really cannot work with, and you try to make a proposal to align the proposal, another proposal to align the bigger idea with something that you can still work with. Is that more clear now?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And if I can ask something, so
Yeah.
after every objection, we should have a proposal. Otherwise, it's not like valid, our objection.
Let me get there. So this is the process, and now we see about the objections. So as you know, coaching is based on powerful questions, and also in this consent process, it implies powerful questions. So the steps are the group leader or someone in the group present a proposal. And then we have a set of questions. Then there's a quick reaction round, and then there's the consent round and the objections. So based on these three layers, we have the when presenting the proposal. So let's say I present you a proposal regarding how to follow up this project over the next months. Once I finished my presentation, the questions that I can make in general is, what do you need to know to understand the proposal? So the purpose is to clarify, to avoid judgments based on misunderstanding. That is something also, when you run trainings or when you're teaching, as some of you are in formal education, it's very important to double check that people understand what you just shared and explained. The level of the feedback from the participants, it's on understanding the proposal, nothing more. So I can understand the proposal, I have no questions. Can you explain me more about what you mean? What's the difference between consensus and consent, for instance? Why did you include the part that says this and that? So it's really on what exactly you mean by the text or by the idea that you just shared. Then there's the second round of feedback, that is quick reactions. It could be, I like the proposal. It could be related to a general reflection on problem solving. So what's this idea, what this proposal will support, how will help us to solve a problem in our organizations, in our reality, in our neighborhood, and so on a personal aim. So I support the proposal because it helps me to do this and that in my personal life. From an organizational perspective, so the proposal supports our mission, our values, and our working system in doing this and that. Then at this level, you can start getting objections. I don't support this proposal because it doesn't serve the organization so to have better working procedures, for instance. You can get appreciation. So thanks to the team that has been developing this proposal and so on, suggestions, small changes in words, in wording, or quick amendments, and all these kind of feedback that should be quite fast. It's really to know exactly how the group is understanding the proposal and what's their general opinion. Based on this quick round, you can ask for the last round, that is really the consent moment. So if you consent means, as I was saying before, that is good enough for now, safe enough to try. It means that either it totally reflects my personal vision about a certain issue, or it doesn't totally reflect my personal vision, but I don't have any particular objections to try to test it over the time. You can get the objections. So someone that might object because the proposal might affect the organization in some possible way, or because on a personal level it doesn't include some aspects that are relevant for the person that is objecting. The thing is that if there's no objections, you consent. So you cannot say, I don't have an opinion, and so I'm not gonna say yes or not. When people brings an opinion, as a facilitator, is an added value, because if some people have objections, it means that there's room to improve the proposal and to discuss about specific part of that proposal. This is the reason why it says, as I was sharing at the beginning, that is quicker then consensus, because it doesn't pretend to get everyone on board on the first level of proposal. It's transparent because everyone can bring his, her own opinion and improve the first draft of the proposal. And it's something that exercise the group to find balance and to work with tolerance of ambiguity. That is one of the key competencies for 2030. Did I manage to explain you a bit more about the general contents, or you still have questions specifically on this?
Nobody's raising the hand at the moment. Some thumbs up. Okay.
Okay. So going specifically into objections. Sociocracy sees objections as opportunities. So objections are safety checks, not blocks, opportunities to improve. And the strategies that you can have to integrate the objections on a group decisions are modify the proposal. So to adjust the details to avoid risks of misunderstanding. But of course, once you adjust the proposal, you have to make sure that the rest of the group consents about the amendments that you make. Shorten the term. So you can say that either we take this decision for goods, we take this decision and we test it for 2-3 months. Then we're going to see if it works or if it not works. You can measure the consent. So to try the proposal, to define some indicators to verify and to evaluate if the proposal improves the situations or not, and then you can take a decision to amend it according to the evaluations and the learnings that you get from your monitoring and evaluation system. Or you can combine strategy. What does it mean? That if a person or a group has a proposal and bring it to the wider group, and a person or another group has a different opinion and proposal, you can try to combine the two different proposals to make a new one that represents everyone's needs and perspectives. We have to be careful of the level of objections. So here, I don't know if you can read it fully. Oh no, I went back. But if someone says, okay, I don't want to come to a training course in Estonia. Sorry, just because you were talking about Estonia. I don't want to come to a training course in Estonia in February because it's cold. It's a personal objection, it's a personal preference. There's not something that says that it's something that really prevents the training to take place. Whereas if you say that I don't want to organize a training course in Estonia in February because there's the national holiday and prices of planes and board and lodging improves a lot, and we have no budgets, that can be a valid objections to let's have the group a discussion in order to verify and maybe to adjust the chronogram of the organization, the work plan of the project, for instance. So if you don't have questions on this, I would like to invite you to make a short simulation, which always helps. So the Youth Hub Budget Dilemma for Social and Youth Coaches. I'm gonna show you the scenario, and then you will be divided probably in 2 groups to have a discussion on this. So you are part of the leadership circle of a youth NGO, as you probably are. You have 10,000 euros of funding to spend, but you must decide together how to allocate it between 3 competing priorities. So safe space renovation, to renovate your youth center to make it accessible and nicer, to organize youth-led events, so to organize a public awareness festival on inclusion, or to invest on training program to run workshops for youth workers on sustainability. The proposal is to split the budgets in order to allocate 6,000 euros on youth-led events, 3,000 euros on training program, and 1,000 on renovation of the space. So I don't know if you can screenshot this page, or I can copy and paste probably in the chat this text. What I would like to invite you to do is now to be divided into 2 groups and to discuss this proposal, trying to apply this flow of the consent process, which means I present you the proposal. You can ask clarifying questions, and maybe you can clarify them within your group, to have the quick reactions round, and then to reflect in the consent round to get the feedback and to see if there are objections. Is that clear?
You managed to take screenshots of the 2 relevant slides, the scenario and the process?
Yes.
Okay, super, great. Or do you still need one of the 2 slides to quickly make one? Anyone has a need that we show again the other slide?
Yeah.
Okay, super. And Federica, you proposed 2 groups. We are 7 participants plus Adam and Anitka from New York, who I'm not sure how active they are still there. So.
And then we can stay in plenary.
No, exactly. In this small group, maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I stop sharing so I can see you.
But here we see Adam and Dita. Okay, so we have actually 9 people then. We have 9 people then. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe it's easier to work in plenary.
Okay, so we leave it in plenary. Fine. Mm-hmm.
So I would like to invite you to choose someone that is going to be a facilitator of the discussion. And here, sorry, I share again my screen for a moment. I closed everything. So the first step is to define the roles in the group. Someone should be the facilitator to guide the process, then the secretary to keep the records, the leader, if someone really agrees with this idea and proposal, to ensure that aim is met, and the delegates that should link to other circles. In this case, you're going to be working in plenary, but you can still share with us afterwards. And then you can go through the consent process steps. So is there anyone that would like to be the facilitator of this process? Don't rush, huh?
So we are staying in the plenary, if I get it right.
Yeah, because otherwise the groups would be very small, and
Okay.
it's more interesting to have a bigger debate in plenary
Yeah.
then.
We can also do one thing, Federica. I don't know if this makes more sense. We can put everybody in one breakout room.
Yeah, that's
So
what
then you and me would not be observers, but the group
Yeah.
would be without us.
You can have more privacy. But
I
still,
don't know if you prefer this. Yeah?
then I have a question for you. Who, apart the organizers, who do you think would be a good facilitator for this discussion?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Anita. Guess.
Anita, agree.
Anita, you have been
Or
voted.
Anita can be. Or, okay.
I
Because I
vote
thought
Georgia.
the-
I vote
the-
Georgia. Simona, shut up. We vote Georgia.
And Anita can be a leader. Anita can
Yes.
be a leader.
Okay, Anita can be leader.
Okay, rest people can be simple people, normal people.
Why Georgia would be a good facilitator and Anita would be a good leader, according to your perspectives? What are their qualities? I'm asking to the ones that have been voting.
Georgia has so much patience and very good organizing skills, and she's very detailed. She's very fair. Yeah, and I think that Anita would be a great leader because she has inspire. Yes, we inspire. Yes, they are both so trusted.
And it's very clear, detailed, trustable.
Who did you refer to?
To Anita.
Ah,
To Georgia, I don't need to spend any words. Everybody knows she's the perfect facilitator.
Okay. So, ladies, you have been called to step up. Would you mind?
No.
Otherwise, this will not, if we don't, we are not end up to a consensus, we will not end up anywhere. So it's okay.
It's not exactly like that, but we're going to see about the roles and how you can get the roles in a moment. But for the time being, it's very important to know that usually team members are proposed by other team members. And it's also an interesting process, because how, people see yourself and the qualities you have and the feedback you get. It's part of the process of creating groups in Sociocracy. So now the facilitator should, facilitate the process throughout the steps. The leader should promote the general idea and the proposal, and so the budget allocation. And then there will be a secretary that nowadays could be ChatGPT, and we know, but or any other tool that can record the conversations instantaneously, but still someone maybe can take few notes. And then, as you're going to be in your own breakout room, you can get a delegate in the end that supports the leader in presenting to us that you're going to be in plenary the final proposal to get some feedback. Everything all right?
I guess.
So Marcus, maybe make the magic.
Would you like everybody now to go to one breakout room, right?
Yes.
Super.
And I can probably copy and paste you the free slides in a moment.
Anita, this is part of the process. You are getting ready for your role.
Yeah. I'm getting ready for the role of the of the leader, yes, and I need to look presentable, so I'm getting ready for it.
Amazing.
Good. You see, everything is for a reason. All right. Hello, welcome back. So before we start any discussion, we would have a question for you. So it's 5:36. We have some options for you to find possibly consensus this time. First of all, would you like to have the debriefing first and have a break afterwards? Would you like to have the break first and then have the debriefing, or you would like not to have the break and then finish earlier?
Debriefing now.
We say
first
break
option.
now.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Debriefing now.
Break now. Break now.
Debriefing now.
We do not want to ruin the process, and after the break we are gonna have to go, me, Adam, and Dita. So that's why we said debriefing now, so that we can close this process and then leave. So that would be more beneficial for us. So I'm just putting this out there. But of course, whatever the group decides, this is just our objective, okay?
This is our president.
This is... Yeah.
I have so many roles now, I'm the leader, the president, so.
All right. So thumbs ups, who agrees with these requests? All right. So if you're okay, we can have the debriefing now also, because they actually are, you know, in the other side of the on the ocean. So probably they might have different needs from us. All
Yes,
right.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you everyone for the comprehension and to consent to this proposal. But in the first place, so did you manage to find consent? I would like to hear the delegates and the leader about this.
Well, partly that there were two proposals. Our lovely secretary Jose proposed that we can delegate 8,000 to youth event and 3,000. Well, did I say 7,000? I forgot the numbers.
82.
Yes. Okay, so he proposed that we can delegate 8,000 to youth-led event and 2,000 to training program, and no money to renovation because 1,000 or 2,000 euros for renovation is just not enough, and we can collect money for event for renovation. But other people wanted to give 7,000 to event, 2,000 to training program, and 1,000 to renovation. And I don't know if we did agree, actually.
Most of the group agreed, while maintaining the idea that through the youth, what was it? Youth event. Yes, thank you. From the youth event, we would still raise money, so we would keep 7 to 1, and then the money we would raise, they would also go to renovation. So we went kind of on the middle ground, let's.
We weren't arguing. It was really peaceful.
Okay, that's very good.
Yes, it was a very smooth process. All people were participating. You know, it was
very democratic. You also saw it. We know that you were the big brothers.
Okay, I feel a bit of sarcasm, so I would like to ask to the facilitator to get some insights about the debate.
No, I really mean it.
No.
It was really, it was really smooth process.
It's true. As a facilitator, I could say that in the beginning there was a bit of tension, and yes, a lot of sarcastic stuff, but we tried, and we, because we have a very good connection as a group and as a team, through different approaches and methods, we really try to discuss it and find reach an agreement. It wasn't the easiest process because we weren't really aware of the process and how we will do it and how we will separate the roles. And I don't know if I can say it now or not, but also as a facilitator, I wasn't really sure how I'm going to facilitate, honestly, all this. I mean, where my role starts or not starts, where it finishes. But apart from the moments that we try to find the roles, on that short time that we have, we discuss it, and we also had some objections, and we tried to not change it, to end up on one conclusion. Of course, if we had more time, it would be more productive.
Okay. We're gonna get back to this, to the facilitator role. Is there anyone that has any other comments, questions, reflections?
Just that maybe considering the given time, we were in the end, I mean, I would say very productive. I guess all of us managed to at least say something. Okay, of course, maybe having some more minutes, more people could just say more. And this is a pity, but I guess we lost something in the process because of the short time we had at our disposal. But I mean, in the end, this was the task, this was the time, and we managed. And it's true that we found kind of agreement between different ideas, and all of us in the end, it's like we are satisfied with it. So it was good.
Okay, thank you. Do you think you did manage to follow the process?
As a secretary, you mean?
Yeah.
Not that much. I didn't know exactly what to do. I just took some notes, and most of the things have been said. But I'm sure I managed to accomplish my task.
Okay. And what about the others?
Can I?
Vasilis raised his hand, yes.
Yeah, about the question, if we follow the order of the process, I think that we did in a good scale because we had a very good facilitator and president, and also it has a structure. So for me, it was a good one. Let's say the difficult, let's say, part for me, it was that I didn't know what to decide. I mean, okay, €1,000 for renovation is enough or no. I didn't know the more details and more details about what are the really needs because it was just a scenario. So that made the process, let's say, more difficult. If it was a real scenario, I think it would be more easy for all of us to participate because we would have our own experiences from the needs of the organization. So we will be more active. So now, for me, the plan, it was okay, like 631,000 euros. So yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add something?
Yes, please.
For me, as also participant in this process, no matter what was the role, I think as an idea, this model that we try to follow by sharing our proposals, see which are the objections, how we can come to a final agreement, maybe in our minds is the easiest form, but my opinion is that, and for me as Georgia, I'm not so familiar to real use this. I always say that I want to do this, or sometimes I use it, but also in everyday life or in work, in general, it happens that a lot of time even we try to use this model. Very few times we ended up to, let's say, complete this model. And also in our simulation, of course, because in the beginning it was kind of more, okay, what we are doing here. it was more difficult for us to be concentrated and to see what we will decide. The topic, maybe, because it seems to me easy because I'm working on an association and it's something that we could reach on an agreement, but we didn't have the time and the attention to focus on it. And as Vasily said on that topic, to separate what it means to renovate in order people to understand that, yeah, maybe we need to give more money or less money. But it was a nice example to start and work on this topic and model of sociocracy.
Okay. Thank you. Any other feedback? So what you have been sharing so far is that in order to be able to participate in a consent decision-making process, there's a need of background information to take informed decisions and to be able to actively participate, to have clear roles and to know exactly what are every role supposed to do. And that in general, we are familiar with the process, but not always we manage to apply it in everyday life. I would like to ask you now something else. So Georgia, you were mentioning about the fact that at the beginning you didn't know exactly what your role was supposed to do, no? Or how to facilitate the process. Now that you have done the experience, what a facilitator should pay attention to when facilitating a consent decision-making process?
A lot. I think it's one of the most demanding groups, things that needs to facilitate, because for sure the facilitator should be sure that all people express their opinion, because as you mentioned in the beginning, and I realize that it's a big truth, that if you don't bring an objection, it means that you agree, and here there is not the neutral part. I don't talk, so I don't take responsibility, or I don't take any portion. I don't know if it's the correct phrase. You all participate, either with a yes or a no, and if it's a no, why is a no? So for me, that was the most difficult part. It's easy to make people understand what we are talking about, but after that, to motivate them, or kindly, let's say, force them to express what they believe, it was very difficult. Yeah, that was, and I think this is something, because as it is mentioned, consensus. It's I realized how slow could be and how demanding could be, because in our case maybe we, let's say, agree easier in order to finish, but when it's the real life, it's really hard to have a consensus.
Consensus is different than consent.
Yeah. But either to have a consent, I mean, many people say, yes, let's do that, but they don't mean it. Yes, it's not our topic. If you say yes, okay, you have the responsibility. But also it was challenging as a process.
Okay, what about the others who maybe didn't have any specific role? What do you think about what would be the role and the main focus of the facilitator of a consent decision-making process?
I'm sorry, I think I lost the connection. Something happened. Can you repeat the question? Because I listened to the first part but lost.
Yeah, I can't hear you properly either. So I was asking, I'm taking some notes here and let you see, share the screen, so maybe you can also. Okay, so here I took notes about the needs of the participants in order to be able to participate in a consent decision-making process. And now I wanted to take some notes about the roles and what is the task of every role involved in the consent decision-making process. So my question was to George at the beginning and to everyone now, it's what is the main task and what are also the competencies that we have to engage and perform in order to be able to facilitate a consent decision-making process. Did you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
What I wanted to ask is that if we say is a facilitator, then probably is not allowed to express their own opinion. Or this is not true?
That's a good question. Technically speaking, a facilitator is not part of the decision-making process. But if you think of your organization, a board of a youth organization, and if someone takes the responsibility of facilitating the process, he might also want to somehow express his or her own opinion. What I personally do when I'm also want to be part of a decision-making process is to share my opinion in the end, in order not to
mislead.
Yes, mislead the others.
Also, what I have felt through this simulation is that the facilitator needs to navigate and also to maybe to navigate easily and somehow, or maybe to make the right questions. And maybe also be more clear, structured, and yeah. If I want to express it somehow, as I will tell you.
Clear structure, you said.
Yes, to be clear as while they're talking, and also to have a specific structure of how they want to. Maybe it's like a coach or like a psychotherapist or someone that they navigate the people through the conversation, so they are the helper of it, but they don't show the light where they need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Am I clear? I don't know.
Okay.
And also one thing that I wanted to add through this simulation is that I really got confused at the point with the facilitator position and the leader, because I was like, what the leader should do actually should be more like inspirational, should follow like more like harsh we need to do this because the right thing, and I give you this or how
That's a good question. I would like also to bring the questions to the rest of the group if they want to share their own opinion. What should be the role of the leader in a consent decision-making process?
I think for me it's to inspire the participants to be able to manage them and have clear boundaries, to give the same time to everyone to express their opinions, and to be fair and motivational. Yes, and motivational.
Thank you.
Can I also say something else?
Yes, please.
Can it be about the leader, or now we're focusing on the facilitator?
No, I was already starting with the leader.
Okay, because also about the leader, I thought that it needs to be someone who knows very good about it, like about the proposal, to be 100% sure that this is the only proposal, that it can be the perfect solution. Because we had, for example, the renovation, the workshops, and then the events. So for me, like I would not trust the leader if they had really good facts or statistics or examples of other organizations that did the same thing and it worked.
Okay.
And I also agree with especially the last point with Anastasia. And I think the leader, as a skill or task, could, I don't know, be the person who would make the proposals as well. What if, blah, 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 by giving examples in order to, it's not just, maybe it's mentioned like inspire, but here the inspire, for me, the inspiration could be to inspire them talk. No, in that case, should be the one who would always, like in auction, like do proposals in order to make people think, and it's easier to result agreement.
And maybe for the leader, it's good when he can see the threats behind every proposal or the opportunities.
Read the background.
Yes, read the background.
Again, backgrounds.
To foreseen,
maybe.
The threats or the opportunities.
Yes.
But I have a question on that, because the leader is always going for the one proposal, or they can also change their minds during the discussion.
It's still a democratic decision-making process, so of course the leader can change the minds and improve the proposal based on the feedback that they get.
Okay.
Because otherwise it would be a kind of it wouldn't be democratic decision-making process if the leaders propose and everyone has to agree. So thanks a lot. We're going to explore more these aspects also in next meeting. So now, would you like to have a break? And then we go for the last 30 minutes. All right. What would it be for you a feasible break time?
Maybe 15 minutes.
20 for us, no?
Okay.
20 minutes. It's then we have 10 minutes left. What's wrong? Can you see me? Because it says to start my video.
Yes, I sent it to you because your video was off. So, but now we see you again. It's all good. I didn't want to interrupt you. All is good now.
I'm sorry. All right. So how long do we go for? 20 minutes you want to go?
I guess 15 could be your start.
If we only have 30 minutes, maybe then 15 minutes.
Okay, so we want to meet again in 15 minutes.
And to slowly come back for the final minutes of our webinar. Let's see who's still here.
Hello from New York.
Hello, Vasilis. How is the weather in New York, Vasilis?
Sunny, some clouds, but sunny.
3 clouds.
3.
Oh, we are very bad people, no?
Why, Ruchi?
Not on time. Well, we have Italians and Greeks. We can't expect much.
Stereotyping.
Italy's here, and I heard you.
I'm not from Greece, I'm from New York.
Yeah, see?
Marcus, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you know it. Well, first was my disappointments because we moved the meeting from Greece to Czech Republic. But I know the reasons. Okay, it's fine. I mean, of course, it's fine. Do you know anything? I mean, do you have details? Because I guess we're still waiting for some communication. No, like I don't know, airport. Can we buy the tickets? Whatever. Do you know anything?
I would need to check. I mean, this is of course in the hands of Martina. Huh? Martina.
Yeah.
I remember the email that it was moved to Czech Republic, but was there no green light to buy tickets or something? Okay.
I don't remember. I was. I guess we were. I don't know. I had the feeling that we had to wait for some communication. I will write to Martina. Okay, it's fine.
Okay. I would also need to check the emails.
I will ask Martina.
Yeah. I just remember the email, don't pay flights to Greece. This is what I remember.
Yeah, this was.
Yeah, pity. Okay, it seems people are back, no? Georgia and Eleni, are you with us also? They want a 20 minutes break, so maybe they are. Ruchi's here, we know. I see everybody's here. Seems we lost Simona in the meanwhile. But Federica, I think now you have a presentation, no? Not some activity, right? So we could just start with it because also people can watch the recording, worst case.
We are also here. Okay, we hear you.
Super.
Yes. We organize the camera stuff and we will open our cameras as well.
Super. Okay.
All right. So let me go back. So let's move this down. Okay. Back to the presentation. So we were talking about the organizational structure when it comes in working with sociocracy within an organization. So as you might remember, then we're going to make a comparison very quickly with holacracy. Here as well, we work in circles, and that's the reason why I was proposing you to find roles within the team, within the group. And the circles are semi-autonomous teams that decide in their domain. Domain as for holacracy is a topic of authority. So if you are in the training domain, are in the training circle, you have the purpose of your trainings to young people or so on, and the authority, so the domain, to take decisions about that specific aspect of the organizations. The roles within every circle are the facilitator, the secretary, the leader, and the delegate. And why leader and delegates? Because the leader and delegates are the ones that connect to the bigger circle in order to have to not work in silos, so to have a double linking. Then there's a general circle that is the core of the organizations, and the mission circles that are the ones that have that implement the activities with the vision and accountability. The structure of these circles adapts and grows with the needs of the organizations. So if you have a training circle and then you start delivering training for youth organizations, for corporate organizations, and for teachers trainings, probably you will want over the time to have different sub-circles that works on that specific, with the different specific target groups, and then they can talk to each other through the leader and delegates, just to keep it very simple. So the structure would be then, again, like in holacracy, with different circles that are linked one to each other in order to create this mutual support and mutual communications about the different activities they implement and the different priorities that they see and they face throughout the time. So what's the difference then between holacracy and sociocracy? It mainly relates to the fact that, as we were saying back in June, in holacracy, we have a general circle, and then inside the different circles. And within the general circles, all the people participating within the organizations have to agree on a constitution that foresees and inform the different employees or the different people active in the organizations about what are the rules, the common rules. And then within the super circle, there are the sub-circles that are organized among themselves, where they have the authority and so the domain to take decisions in that specific aspect of the organizations. Here, there's still the comparison with the traditional structure of an organization that is organized as a triangle, where on the top you have the management, and then going down you have the middle management, the supervisors, and the staff. So decisions are taken on the top, and then the others just implement decisions taken by other people, by the top management. So as you can see visually the difference, in holacracy we have the big circle, the super circle, with all the different circles within. In a traditional structure of the organization, you have the hierarchy that is organized as a triangle top down, whereas going back to the previous slides, in sociocracy, so you see the white the white square on the back is just because it was a screenshot, but you have the general circle and the different circles, but they are not organized in a super circle with all that layers of debate and agreements and the constitutions and how to organize the general work of the organizations. They just take agreements on how every circle wants to work within themselves. They have some roles that guarantees that everyone is heard and every voice is integrated within the main aspects and in taking decisions. But then every circle is more or less free to work within the organization. Any comments, questions, clarification on this?
Doesn't seem so.
Okay.
Can I ask something?
Yes, please.
Do you have any preference between those two?
Well, personally speaking, I think that sociocracy is a decision-making approach that can be applied in most of the situations we live on a daily basis. Holacracy is a much more structured way of working, and it really applies to corporate more than everything. And as you remember, probably there's also this platform, Glassfrog, that it helps to organize, to have the different definitions. So let's say that holacracy, it's like the final step of the sociocracy, probably, because it's much more structured. Whereas sociocracy is something that you can apply in, I don't know, group decision making within an organization, within a group of friends, or within a community decision of what to do in the neighborhoods, for instance. That's my perspective.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, what I wanted to ask you, to invite you to do, but now we have no time, but if you want to practice a bit and you have time during this week, to map somehow your NGO or a team or the people you collaborate with into circles, and to try to define yourself, or asking to them even better, what are the aims and domains of every circle, and to see if informally already there are some role existing, informally or formally, so if there are some existing roles based also on the descriptions that we created together. And there are some general descriptions, but I think that every group and organization should align for their own definition of what a role is and what every role implies, in order to make it clear, to definitely fit to the needs of the specific group of people collaborating together. And to see then if there are some communication gaps. I know that sometimes, especially big but also small organizations, have communication gaps. That means that sometimes people work in silos. How can you prevent to work in silos, and how you can guarantee that decisions are taken in a way that different silos can contribute, so different groups can contribute to the general decision making for to accomplish the vision and the mission of the organization. That's a bit the general questions that everyone should ask herself, himself, as a coach when it comes to organizational coaching, but also I think also when you do one-to-one coaching somehow, so not to propose your own personal perspectives, because it's not something that is foreseen in coaching practice and procedures, but how can you support the person, your client, in define what she should be doing in the different roles that they have to express in their daily lives, and how they can do it at their best. That's a good reflection point and a good questions to ask. So if you feel like making up your mind on this might be interesting, now we have no time to do so. And I would like to ask you when to close this session. So what practice from today could you use in your coaching? What do you think? Is there anything you think that you might, you have a new tool in your box that you can grab and use it tomorrow with a client or within your organization? And I stop sharing so I can see you.
I can go.
Yes, please.
For sure, I will work more and I have more ideas how I will approach the objection part, because it happened a lot of times during the coaching session, or using different tools to people create their own objections or negative creating obstacles and couldn't work with them. Or for example, when I made some questions, or also during some workshops that I used some coaching tools and people were really broad objections on that, to make them understand, and if not understand, use also the idea of if I am opposed or disagree on something, or I see something negative, what is my proposal? Because until now I didn't have this, I didn't know also how to do it and how I will bring it to them. That yes, I disagree and I propose this.
That's very important.
And the second thing is to, as it's mentioned many times, the phrase that I continue, it's okay for now, since it's safe. That means that this could change, but for now it's okay. So I can go on.
Thank you. Ruchi.
You hear me? Yeah, okay. Well, how I understood, or at least how I took this holacracy and sociocracy, or even hierarchy, I think for me it's like part of a big decision-making journey. As an example, even in coaching, sometimes I have to use hierarchy as an example, present me as the coach and tell the client how the process is going through. I think it's more hierarchical. And even in organization, I have a feeling like in different stages of a organization, the leader of the organization or the leader of the project has to have an understanding what method to be used. This is how I got this different styles.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to say that I do agree with what Lucy said, in a way that, of course, there is not a model that would be the right one and the best one for all situations and issues. But I guess it's important for us, especially people who work with people and people who are involved in the management of organizations, companies, to know as best as possible how these models function, because we could apply them in different situations and we could try to understand which one better fits what we have at that moment to face. I guess going through this process, personally speaking, is for me very helpful to know more about how these things are thought, organized, and the thought that is behind them. Because very often we apply in these models, but when you see it and you can better understand what you can do what you can improve and what can be done better.
Yeah, because also, as also Ruchi was mentioning, there are some, of course, also the leadership of an organization as a domain where they have a kind of, freedom to take decisions. So there are some aspects that are domain of the management where you can take decisions. There are some other aspects that imply the engagement or have an impact to the whole organizations that requires different types of engagement strategies within the organizations, within the group. So I think it's very important, as you said, to know different decision-making processes to be able to assess to which extent is something that it's just up on the general leadership of an organization and which aspects are part of a wider decision-making process, and to try to make it as smooth as possible. Okay, any other final remarks? Otherwise, we can meet next week. So for you, probably you will get access to a folder where I collected some handouts from a website that exists that is called Sociocracy for All. If you want to explore a bit, here there's a lot of interesting inputs. And there's a booklet that you can download for free. And as you might see, I took inspiration from there also to create the slides, because there were nice visuals that helps a lot to facilitate the discussion being online and with a different structure. So, Marcus, I don't know, you want to add anything?
No, just thank you. Thank you, Fede, as usually, for this great content. We will on the WhatsApp group share this link and also the proposed homework, Fede, which is to link these resources and this approach to powerful questions in coaching. And indeed, we meet again in a week at exactly the same time. So on the 16th, again on Tuesday at 4 o'clock Central European time, 5 o'clock Greek time, 5 o'clock Estonian time, for the very last webinar in this Century Key Action 2. And get all your colleagues from the organizations on board. Let's make it a nice final one. Huh? Let's have a good final one with many people on board. And thanks to you for all those who joined today, invested their time today. And thank you so much, Federico, of course, for your great input today.
My pleasure. Have a good evening, everyone. Ciao.
Ciao, people.